Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather. As always, I'm bringing you guys an awesome interview. And today on the show, I have Mr. Loren Green. He's part of All Downhill From Here. It's a Scene Point Blank book edited by Matt Andrews and Loren Green. We're going to be talking to him about the book. Loren, how's it going?
Good.
Glad to finally get you on here.
Yeah, it's how scheduling goes.
This is very true. Very true. Now, let's talk about this book, All Downhill From Here. It's 10 years of, well, pretty much it's collected music writing of 10 years of covering punk, hardcore, and metal. Let's talk about how this book came about.
The website itself started up in 2003. I didn't join up till a few years later, actually. But we realized last year that we were hitting our decade anniversary, and we were kind of trying, just brainstorming around the staff ways to mark the occasion. Being a webzine, we all kind of have ties to the print world. Even if that's not what we do firsthand, we always kind of wanted to put something out. It seemed like a perfect chance to kind of pull things together and do that.
What's your favorite part about the book and being associated with this?
It's a good question. It's all been a learning experience, just between the difference between operating something for web and print. But I think just getting that package in the mail the other day, when you open up the box and see your name on the cover and your work inside, even if it's material I've seen 100 times when I'm holding it in a book, it's a totally different feeling.
Now, you guys got to work with a lot of musicians, looks like, on here. Looks like you got to work with Henry Rollins, especially, I'm just going through the names here, Ian MacKaye. Let's see, Rise Against is on here, Tiger Army, and also looks like AFI especially, Anti-Flag. So, I mean, there's a lot of bands on here. How much of an influence are these bands on you?
Well, on me personally, depends on the person we're talking about, of course. Some of them we mentioned are from the earlier years of the site, which were when everybody involved was a little younger, too, and they're bands that, because of the age you are, they've really shaped a role in how you are, how we view music, how we do what we do every day. So getting a chance to talk to some of these guys in person, sometimes it's phone, sometimes it's person, sometimes email, but it's always just a great interaction to have.
What would you say your best interview came from about the book, as far as band-wise?
I definitely enjoy Matt Andrews' interview with Ted Leo that he did a few years back. You can tell it was just an interview where the two clicked on a level where they could communicate about both Ted Leo's music and kind of about the world and how they viewed music as a broader thing. It's
crazy on how much music can affect people therapeutically and, just emotionally. It's amazing how much a connection music brings people together.
Absolutely. Like running the website, one of the things I've learned, and I think I actually say this in one of the intro essays, but even though some of these people who we interview or talk with, I put them up on a pedestal at some point in my life, and when I interact with them now, they feel like peers just because we have all this in common.
With all these groups that you've interviewed, though, who was your favorite one, if you can think of?
It is always a tough one, because every interview is a little bit different. I'll use the example of going with the Ergs, since that one I know was also in All Downhill From Here. It was done before they went on their final tour as a band, so it just gave an added kind of depth into the subject we're discussing, about not only reflecting on what they accomplished, but kind of looking forward and allowing them a chance to talk about where they saw themselves going as performers.
How long did it take you guys to put this book out?
Well, the early stages of discussion really probably started almost a year ago. Then it was just kind of shooting out ideas, like what should we include? How much new stuff do we want to involve? How will we pick what our favorite content is? Because we've done, I think 400 interviews on the site over the years and thousands of reviews. So it's a matter of how to identify what our favorites are versus what's most popular, how we wanted to focus.
What would you say your favorite thing about the website and about the book is?
I think it's just the first-hand interaction with music and being involved more deeply than when I was just, buying CDs and records and bringing them home. I feel a lot more involved and the older we get, we're a lot more busy with our day-to-day lives, and it's really kind of given me an opportunity to stay in touch with a lot of things and to find things that I might not have the time to find on my own. They kind of find me now.
Are there any authors or anybody out there that you like that really got you into editing and writing and things like that?
Well, there are absolutely a lot of them. I've always kind of enjoyed writing. If we're talking on a kind of fiction level, I enjoy writing of like Kurt Vonnegut or Tim O'Brien would be a good example of Salman Rushdie. Music writing, there's a lot out there. It's hard to even pinpoint specific names because I kind of read anything I get my hands on about music in a lot of ways. It's been a lot of homemade zines and things like that that have made an impression. Some guest columns. Pretty
much with Scene Point Blank, the website that you guys have, let's talk about a little bit about it and what features it has for fans to go look at.
And we have a lot of different writing now. We've got the interviews with artists, and we do a lot of reviews. That's kind of maybe our weekly focus, though I'm hesitant to say it's a highlight of the site, as I feel it's all kind of equal caliber. We try to keep up with news posting, but the features and reviews are really what we consider what sets us apart. We cover all kinds of music. While I kind of say it's heavier and independent in focus, we've also covered very popular stuff, and we've covered, folk bands as well. It really depends on who's writing for us currently and what their tastes are, because we're all music fans, we're all volunteers, and we just kind of feel that we should write about what we like. And
that's the way it should be.
Somewhere in the middle, usually there's an intersection in the middle somewhere where we all find out we have that same thing in common, and it's oftentimes not what you would expect it to be.
And that's the way it should be. You should be free to write about what you want to write about.
Yeah, exactly. When you start writing about other things or getting things assigned to you, sometimes it feels like work, among other things.
Yeah, and you guys are volunteering your time to do this too.
Yeah.
Just like me with BODS Mayhem Hour, it's volunteer. I guess you can see where I'm coming from. It takes a lot of toll on you. I mean, you got to put this together. It's got to be well worth everybody to come in and grab it and take a look at it. I mean, I do this show for locals. If it ain't for locals, it's for nobody,
Yeah, and sometimes it feels like nobody's out there, and then you suddenly get that email in response.
Yeah, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody to know that Loren is used to asking the questions.
Yeah, it's a new perspective here.
This is a little new to him.
Familiar territory.
So is this your first interview actually doing this before, man, or about the book, or let's talk about that?
Actually, it is. I've kind of been in talks with a couple other people, but it's kind of like getting this one together, scheduling it's been a pain.
Yeah. Like I said, I'd get you on here eventually, and I'm glad I got you on here because I'm a huge fan of music. I eat it, breathe it, sleep it. Especially, I do like punk music. I like horror punk music, metal, hardcore. My all-time favorite is Black Label Society, and plus you guys cover all types of bands and stuff. So H2O is a big part of me.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, there's just a lot. The old Black Flag with Henry Rollins, I like them. I still like Black Flag today.
Oh, yeah. Can never. Well, a lot of stuff seems to not age that well. They're definitely one that's held up.
Who would you say your biggest interview came from that you got to talk to? Like one of your idols or someone like in music. Who is that? Or has it even happened yet?
Happens every day in some sense, but I'd say one of the bigger ones. We also do our one-question interviews as a feature type, and I can jump into that in a minute. But where I've talked to some of the names that I never dreamt I'd get a hold of in person. But we've had I won't call it a regular column from Black Dahlia of the Dwarves, but he's written, I think, 3, maybe 4 for us now, one of which is included in the book. And the Dwarves are a band I discovered in high school. It was kind of in the era where like Rancid and Green Day and Offspring were hitting, and people are becoming familiar with the term punk. And then suddenly I heard about this band and read about how they got like kicked off of Sub Pop Records, and I started listening to their records. But, whoa, this is a whole different thing. And it's turned out now where we've worked together and we have a correspondence. It's very rewarding. Every so often you just kind of sit back and, this is really happening. That's kind of...
Let me ask you this then. Your opinion on punk music from back in the 70s and 80s to punk music now. Do you think it's punk music still today?
Absolutely. I mean, the labeling system of categorization has gone kind of nuts, and I'm a member of the media. I suppose I'm partly to blame on that, but it's all related. Like, of course, things change and grow with time. It's been 30, 40 years. They're entirely different scenes and different pockets that people have different exposure to. Like, a lot of people, when they hear the word punk, think of what they see on TV, and that's not at all what I think of. I think of basement shows and things
That's
of that
true.
nature, but it all holds some meaning, and it's all still relevant because, well, frankly, any music that's being made today, I think, is more relevant than something being held up from the past as being kind of the pinnacle of its evolution.
Loren, I want to thank you for taking time out to do this interview. I know that we've had some scheduling issues, but I got you on here, man. I told you I would.
Yeah, no problem, and thank you. Thanks for your interest in the book and the website.
Hey, man, that's not a problem. How can people get a hold of you guys to check out the website, get the book? How can they do that?
And the easiest way would be to go to www.scenepointblank, and we have links from there that should take you right to buy the book. It's also available from Lulu and Amazon, but of course we prefer that people check us out because not only can you see the book online, but you can also see our current material and see where we're at today instead of just 10 years of highlights.
Awesome. Loren, thank you so much for taking time out to do this interview. Everybody stick around. We got some music coming up. You only hear these interviews right here with BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio.